All right, we made it. We made it back, I should say. Good morning from the shore of Fish Creek. Stanley Hootie with the Saratoga and a family of newspapers, bringing you live finish line coverage. 2019 Saratoga Invitational Sunday morning rowing. We were winded out yesterday afternoon. It was the windiest Saratoga invite on record. Underneath the Best Buy tent, fought it for 4 hours. Mother Nature took over, kept the tent, lost the table. Racing stopped, live stream stopped. Everything came to a shuddering halt. So everything was scratched. Today's schedule is set. Anybody who was able to finish yesterday was seeded into today. Today's championship races, they'll be seeded based on what everybody can see, and go from there. So that sets the stage. We are 15 minutes away from racing, but happy to say our stream is up early rather than late. We are ready. It will be a thorough one-man show for most of the morning, or most of the day. The other half, my wife Rita will be tweeting this morning from HQ back at the NYS rowing home base, and then she is out on a very special social call for our family. Big day, big day. So when she leaves the headquarters, I'll take over. We have a lunch break scheduled at 10:40, and then resume at 12:15, and then row through 4:30. Weather today, chance of some showers, wind greatly reduced, 2 miles an hour up to 6 miles an hour. Far cry from yesterday's sustained 14 mile an hour winds with 40 mile an hour gusts. So we're gonna take you here, give you some action here. That's the finish line we're showing you there. Let me move up a little bit off the remote. I got my speed going on the remote here pretty quick. And we're on the Saratoga rowing side of Fish Creek is where we are. You look across, once you see those tents, that tent city on Lee's campgrounds. Leo put a lot of work in. Crazy weather, late thaw. Did everything he could to keep the grounds drivable. And as you see here, this is just a morning race, not part of the invite, just something they wanted to get in underway, some competition. Cheers from the Saratoga side. So that's it. We've got the radio going. We're going to try to keep it down so no one gets alarmed on your end. But that's where we're at. We're going to start racing scheduled at 7:30, and I'm going to be doing some maintenance here as we go. right. Some maintenance done. We're 7 minutes away from the first race being on the water. 7-minute centers. If I said that yesterday's rowing and streaming was a nightmare, I think it'd be an understatement. It was insane. 6 cement blocks, 50-pound sandbag on the table, holding down the tent, more sandbags throughout. The wind came over Regatta Ridge. Instead of just hitting straight through the tent so you could guard against it, it actually came down as a swirl, so I felt like I was in the Meadowlands. We held out as long as we could, and then it just became beyond unsafe for one and all and equipment. So just as I was saying, I'm done for the day, rowing was postponed and then eventually canceled.
I wonder if that's why the other one wouldn't.
Okay, it looks like we're ready to go with rowers on the water. 7-minute setters. Practicing the horn as they come through. Ten lanes across here at Fish Creek, Saratoga Rowing. You're looking at the green safety buoy, which is outside the finish line. Small buoys designate those lanes. So we're going to move this just a bit. So you can see those small buoys, and just through those are the safety buoys, are the orange. So just to our left here, that's the promised land right there. Oh. So that's the view of the finish line. Some more of the boats leaving the Saratoga Boathouse side. Just waiting for the word that boats are on the water. Expect a 7:30 start, 7-minute centers. Okay. Boats are on the water. So it's official. Good morning from Fish Creek. Stanley Hootie with the Saratogian family of newspapers, bringing you Finish Line live stream coverage of the 2019 Saratoga Invitational Day 2. Cloudy skies, calm waters. Far cry from yesterday. We're happy to get it in. We're happy to bring it to you. 41 races today, rowing through 5 o'clock today. Break at 10:30. Boats are on the water. This is the first race of the day, the women's middle school Cox Quad. 10 lanes across. Lane 9 is closest to us. Outside of that green buoy as you head in, the green and white, which you can see today, you couldn't see yesterday. And just got to move one of my feeds here on my page. So closest to us is lane 9. Furthest away will be lane 0. As soon as results become available from the timing center to the left of us, we'll be copying and posting those on Twitter in full, and if available, if we're able to, give you those results over the live stream. First race of the day, women's middle school Cox Quads. 8 boats in this one. Closest to us in lane 9, Niskayuna Rowing. Lane 8, hometown favorite, Saratoga Rowing. Lane 7, Dallas United. Lane 6, Burnt Hills. Lane 5, Litchfield. Lane 4, Niskayuna's B entry. Lane 3, Saratoga's B entry, and Lane 2, West Cambridge. I'm going to turn our camera a little bit to the left here. As you can see further up the race course. Again, it's 1,500 meters, 10 buoyed lane. And as you can see on the far, there's just a single heading down the course. And the flag is up. Cheers for Saratoga to our right. And as soon as they come into sight, we'll start moving down the course with them. And that's Niskayuna Rowing leading the way. So we're going to move down to the finish. See if our camera's faster than that. There we go. So we're bringing to the finish. This will be Niskayuna, lane 9, flat water. And we're going back and forth between Saratoga and Litchfield Hills. Saratoga's closest to us, white shell, blue unis. That'll be Saratoga, followed across the white shell, dark unis of Litchfield Hills. Further up the course on the outside, again, it'll be a white shell, those dark unis of Saratoga in lane 3. As they come into view.
Copy that. I have a new launch waiting for you.
Next, you'll see the white shell, white blades, the red N of Niskayuna. Oh, straight white blades on this shell for Niskayuna. This will be their B entry. And then next will be Burnt Hills Rowing. White shell, maroon blades. Burnt Hills Rowing, the flag is down. Time of that race, 6.350. That's the winning time, 6 minutes, 35 seconds to Niskayuna.
Could you let your flagger know to start with the finish line flag in the up position?
Coming right down, the men's championship 3v8. Eight across, Community Rowing, Row America Rye, Greenwich, Saratoga Rowing, New Canaan, Mercer, Wayland Weston, Mercer B. Leading the way by a boat length. It's going to be out of lane 9, Community Rowing. They're going to be followed across next by Row America Rye. Immediately by Greenwich. And it's a bow ball between Saratoga and New Canaan. This will be Mercer. And this is the championship flight. Men's 3v8. And then closing this out will be Wayland Weston. You're going to see coming into view will be Dallas United in that women's 4.
All right, thank you, Leo. Just to announce that there's been more races, we're just going to assume everything's on time. Thank you.
4 minutes, 51.9 seconds winning time on the men's championship 3V. So on the water now, as the 3V made a lot of water against the middle school cock squads. Those 8s almost overtook those quads. That men's champ went through. So we are now set for the women's championship 3v4. 9 boats in this race. Closest to us in lane 9, Connecticut Boat Club. Lane 8, Saugatuck. Lane 7, Greenwich. Lane 6, PNRA Mercer. Lane 5, Row America Rye. Lane 4, Community Rowing. Lane 3, Mount St. Joe's. Lane 2, Saratoga. Lane 1, Friends of Port. That is your incoming lineup for the Women's Championship 3V Final 1. Say hi to Sarah as she walks in front of the camera.
Sorry about that.
And it's just so you're aware, lane 7 in the middle school quad race popped in 4, and with the other race right behind them, I just had to get them off the course. They should be coming into the Saratoga dock now.
Finish copies, yeah, they're here. Thank you.
So racing went through 11:30 yesterday morning and then was suspended.
You surviving in there okay today?
We're locked and loaded today.
All right.
We've got it firmed up, I think. I think we finally got it down.
Sounds good.
Thank you. It was all hands on deck as this tent was almost flying away yesterday. A lot of spectators came over and grabbed a pole and threw on more rocks and helped with the cleanup.
They didn't show up. Right?
Copy. This is the finish. Rhinebeck, lane 6, no show.
So Rhinebeck in the upcoming event is a no-show.
This is start. We need to get you to follow this race. This is start. We need one more official for this race, please.
So on the water, leading the way is Mercer. And then we've got a battle for second as they come into view. Mercer with a 2-boat length lead. Followed by Connecticut Boat Club, Greenwich Crew, with Saugatuck in the middle. Second to the line will be CBC, followed by the battle between PNR St. Mercer and Greenwich. Next to the line, Red Shell of Community Rowing out of Boston. Then we're going to see Row America Rye, the white shell. On the outside of them, closer to the shore, will be Saratoga Rowing Association's entry. So I have two more shells heading in. This will be the recognizable purple shell, Mount St. Joe out of Philadelphia. They're going to be followed across by Friends of Port. And that looks to close out the Women's Championship 3v first final.
Time 5:56.2. Janet Davis.
Women's Middle School Cox Quad is up. That was captured by West Cambridge, followed by Niskayuna, Saratoga, top three. Then Litchfield, Saratoga B, Niskayuna B, and Burnt Hills. Next up is the Women's Championship 3v4, the second final. This will have 9 boats in it. Excuse me, 8. We have a no-show. Closest to us will be Emma Willard. Lane 8 will be Row New York Manhattan. Lane 7, Friends of Concord. Lane 6 will be empty. Lane 5 is Connecticut Boat Club's B entry. Lane 4 is the Greenwich Crew B entry. Lane 3 is the Mercer B entry. Lane 2 is the Emma Willard B entry. And Lane 1 is the Row New York Manhattan B entry. That's the Women's Championship 3v4. Results in from the Men's Championship 3v8, the 7:37 a.m. race. That was captured by CRI, second Row America Rye, third Greenwich, fourth Saratoga Rowing, fifth New Canaan, sixth Mercer, seventh Wayland Weston Rowing. Leading the way appears to be the Mercer B entry in lane 3. followed by the Connecticut Boat Club B entry. As CBC was just got a boat length lead on Greenwich. Coming to the line here will be Mercer. And then this will be CBC, followed by Greenwich. Closer to us, White Shell. Red Blade will be Emma Willard. On the outside, it'll be Row New York Manhattan, furthest from the camera. Coming in next will be Row New York Manhattan's A entry. Will be followed by Emma Willard's B entry, the White Shell. We expect this to be Friends of Concord next. White Shell, Dark Unis, White Blade. And that should close out the Women's Championship 3v second final.
Who's ready to go in this boat?
Time 6:05.4. 6:05.4. Copy. Jessica, come in, please. This is Scout.
Go ahead.
Jessica, on board is very slow. The long time is. We can't even saw us so back. We were backed up. Don't have the speed to keep up with the women's score.
So on the water, the 7:58 race, the men's 2v8 final one. Leading the way, Row America Rye in lane 8. They're just edging out Community Rowing out of Boston. That dark shell will be Row America Rye. Will be followed by CRI. The battle now, lane 6, Mercer Dark Shell, White Tops. They're being chased down by Greenwich. So it'll be Mercer, then Greenwich. Following them will be the Saratoga Rowing entry, Dark Shell, Dark Unis, white stripe up the side with Saratoga on it. And they're going to lead Wayland Weston across. Lane 4 in the White Shell, white mixed tops, will be Greater Lawrence in lane 4. That's the men's 2v8, final number 1.
Racing in lane 3. 1 minute group. Just a scallop. Do we have any other option to take any other boat?
4 minutes, 43.6 seconds left. Winning time on that. And we got more results coming in. 744 race. Women's Championship 3V. Your top three: Mercer, Connecticut Boat Club Saugatuck, Greenwich CRI Row America, 4 through 6. 789 are Saratoga, Mount St. Joe, Friends of Port. .751 race. The Women's Championship 3v4, the second final. That was captured by Mercer's B boat, followed by Connecticut Boat Club's B and Greenwich Cruise B. Fourth was Emma Willard. Fifth was Row New York Manhattan, their B entry. Sixth, Row New York Manhattan, their A entry. Seventh, Emma Willard B entry. And eighth, Friends of Concord. Rhinebeck was a scratch. On the water for 8:05, this is the second men's championship 2v8. 6 boats across. Closest to us would be Pelham Community Rowing. Lane 8, Friends of Concord. Lane 7, Fayetteville Manlius. Lane 6, Friends of Port Rowing. Lane 5, Niskayuna Rowing. Lane 4, Wappinger's Crew. That is the 8:05 scheduled men's championship 2v8, final number 2. And these are your 2v8 championship final results. Row America Rye, first place at 443.6. Second, Community Rowing, 446.342. Third place, Mercer at 456. Fourth, Greenwich Crew. Fifth, Saratoga Rowing. Sixth, Wayland Weston. And seventh, Greater Lawrence.
Norton for this event. We have him for flight.
So this is Stanley Hootie with the Saratogian Troy Record and Community News Family Newspapers, bringing you live YouTube streaming coverage of the Saratoga Invitational finish line here on Fish Creek. Men's Championship 2v8 second final underway, heading towards the finish line. In command, Pelham Community Rowing, light blue shell, light blue unis, a couple neon caps there. So Pelham's going to take this with authority. They're going to be fouled across by Port. Another New York State Rowing Association entry. See them in 2 weeks again. Port, white shell, white tees. Excuse me, dark shell, white tees. Next will be Fayetteville Manlius. Dark shells, green unis, white stripe, FM on the back. They're going to be fouled across by Niskayuna Rowing. Dark shell, red tops. They're being chased down by Concord, but it went Niskayuna Concord. Expect this to be Wappingers. White shell, blue and red jackets. Wappingers crew through the line. That'll close out the Men's Championship 2v8 second final. Safety boats going through.
Time 5:07.8.
5:07.8 for that winning time.
Cam at the finish.
Yeah, we're here.
How's everything going for you guys down there?
Good. We just have to make sure they don't hit us.
You are a target, yeah. That's sort of your half target, half direction.
Going well, thanks.
So on the water, the Women's Championship 2v4. This is the championship final. We're going to go 10 boats across. Much anticipated race here. Closest to us in lane 9 will be Greenwich. Lane 8, Connecticut Boat Club. Lane 7, Row America Rye. Lane 6, Mercer. Lane 5, Saugatuck. Lane 4, Community Rowing. Lane 3, Mount St. Joe's. Lane 2, Three Rivers Rowing. And lane 1 will be Saratoga Rowing. Lane 0, Narden Academy. Expect to see an exciting finish here. 10 boats across. This is the championship final. The Women's Championship 2v4s. Flat water, light winds. A welcome sight compared to yesterday.
This is start with this for the coming race. We have only 2 launches here so far. We need to settle down, please. We'll be right there.
And on the water coming in, leading the way is Mercer. For the moment, they're being chased down by CBC. Right now it's Mercer, then CBC. CBC's moving, walking. This will be CBC at the line, followed by Mercer. Saugatuck. Closest to us, Greenwich. Followed across by Rural America Rye. On the outside, the Red Shell, Community Rowing. Further away, it's going to be Narden Academy in the White Shell. Coming in next will be Three Rivers. Lane 3 will be Mount St. Joe's. So on the water, the Women's Championship 2v4, the second final. Again, we're going to be going 10 lanes across. Closest to us will be Boston Latin, Lane 8 PVRC, Lane 7 Concord, Lane 6 Greater Lawrence, Lane 5 Row New York Queens, Lane 4 the Nichols School, Lane 3 Friends of Port, Lane 2 Greenwich B entry, and Lane 0 the Narden B entry. We have results from the women's 2v4 championship final. CBC, Connecticut Boat Club, came across first in 5:48.5. They were followed by Mercer at 5:49. Third, Saugatuck at 5:53. Fourth, Greenwich. Seventh, Row America Rye. Sixth, Community Rowing. Seventh, Saratoga Rowing. Eighth, Three Rivers. Ninth, Mount St. Joe's. So those results, times, and splits will be available on Twitter at NYS Rowing. And we have boats headed to the finish line. The second championship final. Leading the way will be Connecticut Boat Club's B entry in Lane 1. Dark Shell. Several boat length lead over second place for now. Greenwich Cruise B entry. So that was CBC with the win. Followed by Greenwich. White Shell. White Unis. This will be Greater Lawrence Rowing. Third. Be followed across by Boston Latin, closest to us. White Shell. Checkered Blades. Friends of Concord. White Shell, Dark Unis. Being chased down by PVCA. Far outside, Port on the inside has an edge on Narden. And then coming to the line, Row New York Queens. And closing this out, expect to see the Nichols School. This will be Nichols.
Which I thought was very nice.
5:58.69 winning time. Women's Championship 2v4 second final.
I've got a water baby. Oh, okay, that's fair. Or a hot chocolate baby.
Hold on to your hats. This is the one we've been waiting for. Men's Championship Lightweight 8.
At the start, to speak to the starter and see what is happening with the speaker system. Is it not turning on, or is it another issue?
This is all there is on this one. A single final. Men's Championship Lightweight 8. 5 boats across. New Canaan, Lane 9, Lane 8, Greenwich, Lane 7, Row America Rye, Lane 6, Saratoga Rowing, Lane 5, Boston Latin. Saratoga will see them this weekend. They will see Row America this weekend. They will see Row America in 2 weeks at the New York State Championships, and then potentially at Scholastic Championships in Ohio after that, and potentially in Florida at Youth Nationals. Cheers. And this is tight. With a 1-boat lead right now, a boat length. It's Row America Rye. Coming in on them is Greenwich. On the far outside, New Canaan. Row America, Greenwich, Rye, Saratoga. Potentially could be the top 4 boats in the nation coming across together. And this will be Boston Latin, dark shell, purple unis, checkered blades.
Hey Jesse, you want me to send the official to that quad or? That's all I know.
Time 4:53.2.
4 minutes, 53.2 seconds. Winning time there.
I don't see, we can't see a quad on the timing platform.
There's a quad behind us, and they're hanging out. They want us to talk for a second.
Matt or Cal, apparently there's a quad. I don't know if there's been no quads racing. Can you go see what the finish marshal is pointing at?
I don't like the protest, right?
Most of my life.
Next up on the water, the Women's Championship Lightweight 4.
Same name as you.
First of 2 finals. So the second final, the Women's Championship 2v4 results are in. Connecticut Boat Club B, the winners at 5:58. Greenwich B at 6:15. Greater Lawrence at 6:19. 4th, Boston Latin. 5th, Concord Crew. 6th, PVRC. 7th, Port Rowing. 8th, Narden B entry. 9th, Row New York Queens. And 10th, Nickel School. And that was the 8:19 race, Women's Championship 2v4. Results for the men's championship lightweight 8, those 5 boats. Row America Rye came through first at 4:53.2, followed closely by Greenwich at 4:55.0. Third, New Canaan at 4:56. Saratoga Rowing at 4:57, and Boston Latin at 5:19.
I need to come get it. What does that mean?
All right. Stanley Hootie with the Saratoga and Troy Record Community News family of newspapers, bringing you live YouTube streaming coverage of the finish line here at the second day of the 2019 Saratoga Invitational. Day 2 of this event, but the first full day expected of racing, as yesterday's racing was cut short. Finished just before noon. All races have been going along smoothly as the water out front looks good. On the water, the Women's Championship Lightweight 4, the first of 2 championship finals. 7 boats across. Greenwich, closest to us. Mercer, Lane 7. Row America Rye, Lane 6. Mount St. Joe, Greenwich B in Lane 5. Saratoga, Lane 4. Community Rowing out of Boston, Lane 3. Chairs go up on the Saratoga side. CRI. Followed by Greenwich. Wrong bow number. That looks like that was Mercer Greenwich, as the way they came across. Bow said 3, lane said 8. Mount St. Joe. Verifiable, purple shell. Greenwich Crew B. Bow ball finish for Row America Rye and Saratoga. This will be Saratoga coming through. Might have been Niskuna sneaking in there. That was the Women's Championship Lightweight 4. Results available on Twitter. Time, splits, etc. on Twitter at NYS Rowing. White flag is up. Race is official.
So, you don't know, right? You just woke up one after we got.
Well, I got up and walked up here, I guess. And it's already on.
Time 5:49.0.
5:49 flat. 5 minutes, 49 seconds. Women's Championship Lightweight 4, first final. Next up, Women's Championship Lightweight 4 second final. 6 boats in this event. Closest to us in Lane 9 be Westside Rowing. Lane 8, Three Rivers. Lane 7, Port Rowing. Lane 6, Wappingers. Lane 5, Arlington Belmont. Lane 4, Litchfield Hills. As we get ready for the 8:47 throwdown, the Men's Championship 8, coming up at 8:47 start time. So we have the official results for the Women's Champ Lightweight 4 first final. That went to Mercer at, we said, 5:49 flat. Second, Greenwich Crew at 5:51. Third, Mount St. Joe at 6:08. Fourth, Greenwich Crew B entry at 6:12. Royal America Rye fifth at 6:16, followed by Trinity Rowing at 6:16 and Saratoga Rowing at 6:22.
Yeah, no, because they're like rivers and stuff. And this is like the back.
We see some of the Saratoga boats leaving from the Saratoga Rowing Boathouse side. Across the way, you see the Tent City from Lee's Campgrounds. We'll be rowing through 10:30 and then a break until 12:15 for lunch, etc. Leading the way, Women's Champ Lightweight 4, second final. Leading the way, Red Shell of Westside Rowing. Be followed across by Port, dark shell. 3 white tops, 1 dark. Got a battle here between Three Rivers and Litchfield. Three Rivers is going to lead the way over Litchfield Hills on the far outside. 2 more boats yet to come across. This is Wappingers, as they'll be followed across by Arlington Belmont. This is what we've been waiting for. Upcoming 8:47 start.
Time 6:15.6.
6:15.6 finish time. The Women's Championship Lightweight 4 second final. 8:47 start. 1,500 meters to our left. Camera left. Men's Championship 8. Lane 9, Row America Rye. Lane 8, Community Rowing. Lane 7, Greenwich. Lane 6, Mercer. Lane 5, Saratoga Rowing. Lane 4, Three Rivers. Lane 3, Wayland Weston. Lane 2, Concord. Lane 1, Greater Lawrence. Lane 0, Boston Latin. That Women's Championship Lightweight 4 second final. Results, Westside Rowing came across at 6:15.6. Port second at 6:22. Three Rivers Rowing at 6:32. Fourth was Litchfield Hills. Fifth, Wappingers. Sixth, Arlington Belmont. Water's flat, clouds are out, live stream is up. Now we got the fastest boats in the Northeast. Men's Championship 8 first final. Ten boats across. We're hearing noise from Tent City across the way. Lee's Park. Then it jumps over here to the Saratoga Rowing Boathouse side where our cameras are angled. Closest to us will be Lane 9, Row America Rye. Lane 8, Community Rowing. Lane 7, Greenwich. Lane 6, Mercer. Lane 5, Saratoga. Three Rivers, Wayland Weston, Concord, Lawrence, and Manhattan. Leading the way, the head of the Charles champions, Row America Rye. Full boat length lead, no question about that. But it's a battle here between Community Rowing and Mercer, lanes 8 and 6. CRI, Mercer, Saratoga, Greenwich. On the far outside, Greater Lawrence, Friends of Concord inside. Greater Lawrence, edges out Concord. Still not done. Boston Latin, Three Rivers. Three Rivers, Boston Latin. Fast times on Fish Creek. Row America Rye, head of the Charles. High School 8 winners. Win Saratoga Invitational. Next up, Men's Championship 8, second final. This will be a 9-boat race.
Time 4:32.6.
4 minutes, 32.6 seconds for Row America Rye.
In for a bio break.
Top time. Splits have been taken by the timing pavilion. Timing trailer to the camera left. Once those splits are entered, the results are posted. Refer those to you. Then the results will be posted on Twitter at NYS Rowing. Another Saratoga Rowing 8. This is the 1V here. Gonna do the Saratoga chop. Turn here real quick. Come back to the dock. Stan Hootie with the Saratoga and Troy Record Community News family of newspapers, bringing you live Ustream coverage. Excuse me, live YouTube coverage. We switched. 2019 Saratoga Invitational Day 2. The first full day of racing. Short day yesterday due to dramatic winds. Not wins, winds. Mother Nature was not our friend yesterday. Despite numerous cinder blocks, bags of sand, buckets of sand, tent was going all over, equipment all over, so we called it quits shortly after 11, then racing suspended, and then racing never resumed. But it's a good day today. A little bit cloudy, a little bit chilly, but that wind is subsided. Gratefully subsided. Saratoga coach Brad Maxwell greeting his 1V. In this second Championship 8 final, as we said, 10-boat lane, 9 entries for this. Lane 9, Pelham Community Rowing. Lane 8, Fayetteville Manlius. Lane 7, Friends of Port. Lane 6, Holy Ghost Prep. Lane 5, Row New York Manhattan. Lane 4, Arlington Belmont. Lane 3, Niskayuna. Lane 2, Oak Neck Rowing Academy. Lane 1, Wappingers Crew Club.
I am here. Do you need me?
No. I got more people than.
All right.
It's the boat.
You got. I
We have finals. Men's Championship 8, first final. Row America Rise, we said, covered the 1,500 meter course, 4 minutes, 32.6 seconds. Community Rowing Inc. out of Boston, their B entry, 438.2. Third was Mercer at 440. Fourth, Saratoga Rowing at 442. Greenwich Crew at 443. Sixth was Greater Lawrence at 457. Concord, 7th. Wayland Weston, 8th. Three Rivers Rowing, 9th. And Boston Latin, 10th. Cheers are up. Flag is up. Heard some cheers from the other side. Sure enough, on the far outside, you see Oak Neck Academy, but coming in and just motoring is Pelham Community Rowing in that white shell, those blue unis. So this is going to be Pelham's race right here. Not sure if Oak Neck's going to make it to second as they're being chased down by Port. But it did go Oak Neck Port. Battle here between Niskay and Holy Ghost. Holy Ghost on the inside, 6. Outside Niskayuna, red shell. Fayetteville Manlius through the line. They followed across by Row New York Manhattan. Gray shell.
Yeah. I mean, from that point on, it's great.
Last two coming through. Far outside will be Wappingers, but they're looking to be edged out by Arlington in the brown shell. So that's going to go Arlington Wappingers. And that is the men's championship 8, second final of the day.
But yeah, no, I'm all for it. I know Randy.
We'll have to go present it to the board. We'll have to be a process. Well, I think we'll have enough people to stand up and say, hello.
Well, bring it together. I'll bring it up.
I think you deserve it.
I'll bring it up in the next board.
You've got 10 years to go. So,
I do.
So we have a fairly long time to amortize it out over your time.
And I'm not that coordinated, so figure at least one time in a year.
Matt, winning time 4:53.3.
4:53.3 winning time. We give way to the Women's Championship 4 next up. Looks like we expect winds again out of the west, which is right behind us. But 2 to 6 miles an hour by the time we finish. A little bit better than yesterday's 14-mile-an-hour winds and then 40-mile-an-hour gusts. All cloudy. Real feel about 45 throughout the day for the rowers and spectators. Women's Championship 4. 7 boats on the water. Closest to us, Lane 9, Connecticut Boat Club. Lane 8, Saugatuck. Lane 7, Row America Rye. Lane 6, Greenwich Crew. Lane 5, Mercer. Lane 4, CRI out of Boston. and lane 3, Wayland Weston. It's the Women's Championship 4. First final. Cheers from the opposite side. So this is between Greenwich and Connecticut. Greenwich had the lead in the middle lane, but closest to us, Connecticut Boat Club has him by a seat and continues walking. So this will be Connecticut Boat Club, dark shell, lime green stripes. They'll be followed across by Greenwich in lane 6. A battle here between Saugatuck and Mercer. Saugatuck, Mercer. In the middle there, Row America Rye. Be Community Rowing in the red shell. Be followed across by Wayland Weston. That's the Women's Championship 4. First final. Second of 3 finals coming up next.
Willie.
5 minutes 34.1 second winning time.
Yeah. Why?
Oh, so where the throttle pull up, it was only half throttle?
Oh, it was more than half, but it wasn't wide open.
Alright, so what if we sent that up to...
Stand up, Pat.
Because they're just sitting there kind of coasting around. I mean, they move a little bit, but not like full throttle.
Posted to Twitter the final times, the Men's Championship 8 second final that was captured by Pelham Community at 4:53. Oak Neck Rowing at 4:58, followed by Friends of Port third at 5:01. Fourth, Holy Ghost Prep. Fifth, Niskayuna Rowing. Sixth, Fayetteville Manlius. Seventh, Row New York Manhattan. Eighth, Arlington Belmont. Ninth, Wappinger's Crew. And those results are posted with the splits on Twitter at NYS Rowing.
So sometimes one will like fall start, or other times you get it.
Pull the next one in and have them go behind them, or pull them right back to sequence. I would like them.
We do have the results From the Women's Championship 4, that first final, that was captured by Connecticut Boat Club, 5 minutes, 34.1 second. Second was Greenwich Crew at 5:39. Third was Saugatuck Rowing at 5:41. They were followed across in fourth by Mercer. Fifth, Row America Rye. Sixth, Community Rowing. Seventh, Wayland Weston.
Hey, I've got that same launch that Bill was on yesterday. If I can bring that out to Bill, is that? Hey, we gotta work on this. We're sharing a channel. My needs as far as the radio and their needs as far as the radio are. Somehow we're short radios or something. So Reach Official is using we're sharing radios. Right in between 10 and 11 solos that are Tennessee. I've got a high powered flash. I want to hook it up with a cigarette charger. Right. But what I'd like to do is Dan the bill, I didn't check it.
There's a conversation about a race that did not go off. So I'm going to double check to see if that is our final 2 or our final 3. Ball start on 9:08. Okay. All right. So there was a false start on the 9:08 event. So the 9:15 third final is going to come down. So coming down will be the 9:15 third final with 8 boats in it. So this will be
Yeah, again.
the 9:15 final. 7 boats. Closest to us, Concord in lane 9. Lane 8, Emma Willard. Lane 7, PVRC. Lane 6, Row New York Manhattan. Lane 5, Nichols. Lane 4, Row New York Queens. Lane 3, Fayetteville Manlius. Lane 2, Burnt Hills Rowing. So this is a jump start. This will be the 9:15 race, followed by the 9:08. So the third final's coming across, and then we'll move to the second final due to a false start. So that 9:15 race is on the course. So as we mentioned, this will be the 9:15 Women's Championship 4 third final, and then that'll be followed by the second final, which had a false start in it. A chilly day, but not a windy day. And we'll take that anytime after yesterday's experience. Racing this morning through 10:40 and then returning back at 12:15 for a full afternoon of rowing through almost 5 o'clock. 4:30. 4:30 is our last race. Anticipate a lot of the crew staying around throughout the day here on Sunday without a lot of scratches, as there wasn't a lot of rowing that was able to get in yesterday due to the wind. Racing canceled after 11:30. paused until 1 p.m. and then a decision was made that was not going to continue. So sometimes if you get a lot of races in on Saturday, depending on what the Sunday weather brings, you want to get back to school. Not today. I think everyone, you're going to see a full slate here as the day progresses.
It has to be around your neck. I know nothing about what you said, Grace.
Howie's here? How's my
Stake boats in use, so 1,500 meters to camera left up the 10-lane fully buoyed course will be the Brave Souls in would appear to be, snowmobile suits, but they're hazard suits designed to withstand wet, cold, etc. as they're bundled up, and they will lay prone on the stake boat, and the entries will back into the stake boat, and they'll be held there at the stern and then released. Off the stake boats and down the course, Women's Championship 4, third final. 7 boats across. Right now it's being led by PVRC in lane 7, white shell, white unis, red stripe. They're leading the way as the battle for second is between Row, New York, Manhattan, closest to us, and then Nichols on the inside. So it's Row, New York, Bowcox 4, Row, New York, Nichols, Concord, white shell to the line. They're going to be followed across by Emma Willard, white shell, red blades from Emma out of Troy, New York. Safety boat going to go through the finish. Going to be followed by Fayetteville Manlius, the white shell, green unis, white stripe, and that Bowcox 4. Row, New York, Queens. Underway and closing it out will be the dark shell, maroon unis, black stripe of Burnt Hills Rowing Association. And this will be Burnt Hills through the line. And that's the Women's Championship 4, third final. And then we're going to go back and present the 908 winning time, 6 minutes 22.6 seconds. For the third final, as we now jump back to the second final, had a false start. Eight boats here. They came down quickly. Leading the way, lane 9 closest to us will be Greenwich. Dark shell closest to the camera. A battle for second. We have Saratoga coming in. They're breaking through against Greater Lawrence in the middle. Friends of Port making their way. On Narden Academy, the green shell, furthest from the camera. Three Rivers, the white shell dark unis. This will be Mount St. Joe's, purple shell, purple blades. Fouled across by West Side, white shell, dark unis, visors. So despite the false start, the Women's Champ 4 second final made it through pretty quick. Winning time, 5 minutes, 58.9 seconds on the second final. Now going to the men's freshman 8 final. One final, one race. 7 boats across. CRI out of Boston, Port in lane 8, Niskayuna lane 7, Royal America Rye in lane 6, Saratoga in lane 5, Wappingers in lane 4, and CRI's B entry in lane 3. So for the Women's Champ 4 third final, 2 races ago that came through, PVRC comes through at 6:22 for first place. Row New York Manhattan was second at 6:32, followed by the Nichols School at 6:33. Friends of Concord were 4th, Emma Willard 5th, Fayetteville Manley the 6th, Row New York Queens 7th, and Burnt Hills 8th. And that was the third final. Little bit of rain coming down. And we have the results of that second final race that just came through. Women's Champ 4 second final. First was Greenwich Crew B entry at 5:58.90. Second was Saratoga rowing at 6:07. Third, Greater Lawrence at 6:11. 4th, Friends of Port at 6:12. 5th was Narden. 6th was Three Rivers Rowing. 7th, Mount St. Joe's. And 8th was West Side Rowing. And again, all those results and times are available on Twitter by following at NYS Rowing. Cheers going up for the men's freshman 8, 9:22 race on the water. 7 boats across. Great battle here between Community Rowing out of Boston and Row America Rye. CRI, red shell, red uni tanks. They're going to have Row America Rye by a boat length. CRI, Row America Rye. Battle for third between Niskayuna and Community Rowing B entry. Closest to us in the dark shall be Niskayuna. Looks like they're going to edge out CRI's B entry. This will be Saratoga rowing through. And they're going to be followed by Friends of Port. It's the men's freshman 8.
That's a challenge.
So next up is the women's U17-8 Junior B final, the first 2. 5 boats there. Rain coming down a little bit. Gentle rain. No times yet on the men's freshman 8. As you see Saratoga Rowing's freshman entry spinning, then heading back to the dock. We see the SRA boat. It's probably Y Quad Cities visiting from Ohio, borrowing one of the Saratoga quads. Women's U17-8 Junior B final. 5 boats slated. Lane 9 closest to us, Connecticut Boat Club. Lane 8, Saugatuck. Lane 7, Friends of Port. Lane 6, Pelham Community Rowing. And Lane 5, Greenwich Cruise B entry. And that is in the first final. We do have the results in for the men's freshman 8. First place, CRI out of Boston, 5:12.7, 5 minutes, 12.7 seconds. Row America Rye second at 5:20. Niskayuna Rowing third at 5:36. CRI B entry fourth. Saratoga Rowing fifth. Friends of Port Rowing sixth. Wappingers was a scratch. Shouts are up from the other side. Women's U17-8 Junior B final. Middle of the race course, Greenwich B entry. Has a lead, but moving in on them is Saugatuck in the sprint. Greenwich, Saugatuck. Saugatuck, Greenwich. With CBC moving. Saugatuck, CBC, Greenwich. Next is going to be Pelham Community Rowing and Friends of Port racing side by side. Port by a bow ball. Pelham on the inside. Port on the outside. Dark shell. Pelham on the inside in the lighter shell. This is going to be Port, then Pelham.
Phoebe! Phoebe! Oh, Phoebe! No! Stop going over! Oh, no! We're gonna miss Phoebe. It's on my left.
And this is the
It's on my left.
coasting through the course. You see is the Wappingers men's freshman 8, men's freshman 8 that's scratched.
Dog's on my left, yours too, so I do. Don't feel left out. I know! I got it, I got it. There you go, yes. I bet you like those. Yay. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I want to play here.
So we do have the women's U17-8 Junior B second final. Slated to go off at 9:36. That'll be a 4-boat contest. Lane 9 will be the Greenwich Crew A entry. Community Rowing in Lane 8. Narden Academy in Lane 7. And Niska Unirowing in Lane 6.
Where it was yesterday.
cheers from the other side, Lee's Park, for the women's U17-8 second final, 4-boat race. Leading the way, Red Shell, Red Tank Unis, Community Rowing Inc. out of Boston. All by themselves. They're owning it. Battle for second as Narden just overtook Niskayuna. About 70 meters to go. So this will be Narden, the green shell, the dark unis, the green stripe. Narden leading Niski. And this will be the Greenwich A entry. Dark shell of Greenwich. Be the women's U17-8 Junior B final.
Are you still scared of us? This is just a park. It makes noise.
And the flag is up and that race is official. Two sets of finals coming up. Five minutes, 23.6 seconds for that winning time for community rowing.
It's called Stevie. Kara, can I
I'm back to babysitting you, so.
Can I hold Stevie?
Yeah, hold him like that. No, you hold him. Hold him like that. Well, you hold the dog. It's Stevie.
Can I please taking it back?
Stevie. Hi, Stevie. Do you remember me? What? It takes us to hold this. It's literally not even a pound. Now the dog is floaty. Oh, the dog doesn't want the floaty.
No, I got it.
It's a neck paw.
No, my hat! Sorry, Tony! Oh no. Go back to my flesh!
I got him now. We got him now.
Go back to my ah!
So Junior B event, women's Junior V, U17 Junior B, the first final that came through, was captured by Saugatuck at 5:39, followed by Connecticut Boat Club, Greenwich Crew B, Friends of Port, Pelham Community Rowing. On the water, men's novice 8, first final. 6 boats in this race. Community rowing closest to us, Mercer Lane 8, Saugatuck 7, Greenwich B Entry in 6, Holy Ghost Prep in 5, Three Rivers in 4. Leading the way, Greenwich Crew, White Shells, Neon Yellow. We've got a 3-way battle, 3-boat battle for second. For the moment, it's Mercer in the middle. CRI closest to us. Looks like it was CRI Mercer. They're going to be followed by Saugatuck. This will be Three Rivers Rowing. And they'll be followed across by Holy Ghost Prep. Five minutes 4.72 seconds. Top time. In the women's U17 8 Junior B second final, that was CRI coming through in 5 minutes 23 seconds. Narden Academy a distant second at 5:58, followed by Niskayuna at 6:01 and Greenwich Crew at 6:10. So those official times and splits we posted on Twitter at NYS Rowing. Your men's novice 8 first final times. Greenwich Crew B through the line in 5:04. Second community rowing at 5:14, edging out Mercer. Fourth was Saugatuck. Fifth, Three Rivers. Sixth, Holy Ghost Prep. Okay, cheers going up. Men's novice 8 second final. 6 boats in this race. New Canaan, lane 9, lane 8 Greenwich, lane 7 Row New York Manhattan, lane 6 Concord, lane 5 Community Rowing B, lane 4 Community Rowing C. Leading away is the CRI B entry. Red Shell, Red Unis. They're being tracked down by Greenwich, but it's going to be CRI, then Greenwich. Another battle brewing for second. And this is Row New York Manhattan. Rose Pass Community Rowing C. So this will be Row New York Manhattan, Community Rowing, their C entry. The New Canaan Novice, Dark Shell, Dark Unis, red plates through the line. And the Friends of Concord, White Shell, Dark Unis. We'll close out the men's novice 8 second final. We're heading into the small boats as the women's championship varsity quad, 2 finals, followed by the men's championship varsity double, 3 finals, and the boys middle school Cox quad before the lunch break. Novice 8. Men, results are in. Community rowing B entry came across at 5:19.6, 5 minutes 19.6 seconds. Greenwich crew came across second at 5:21, and Row New York 5:42. Women's champ quad, 10 boats across, chasing down the novice eights. Leading the way is going to be Wide Quad Cities, visiting from Ohio. Followed across by Saratoga Rowing. Next will be Row America Rye, lanes 9, 8, 7, as seated. A battle here between Cambridge, the B entry. Looks like it was Y quad by a bow ball over Cambridge. Followed by New Canaan. Community Rowing. Connecticut Boat Club Saratoga B entry. And Row America Rye to close it out.
No problem. You're welcome.
Women's Championship Varsity Quad second final. Again, another 10-boat race, jam-packed with speed. Lane 9, GMS. Lane 8, Greenwich. Lane 7, Pelham. Lane 6, GMS B entry. Lane 5, Port. Lane 4, 3 Rivers. Lane 3, Saugatuck. Lane 2, PVRC. Lane 1, Wayland Weston. And Lane 0, Cambridge B entry. That's the Women's Championship Varsity Quad second final on the water. No official results yet. The women's champ varsity quad as of yet. Probably looking at the instant replay at the timing center to our left. We'll be racing through 10:30, taking a lunch break at about 10:40, 10:45, and then stopping this broadcast and then picking up a new broadcast at shortly at noon. So at noon, we'll be back. Just check NYS Rowing on YouTube. You'll see that latest entry up top. Day 2 of the Saratoga Invitational. First day of full day of expected racing. Yesterday cut short due to wind. And on the water, GMS leading the way. Seated first, lane 9, white shell. Dark unis, light blue chest plates. That'll be GMS. In the center lane, 3 Rivers. The white shell, but they're going to be overtaken by Greenwich. Greenwich with the white shell, blue blades. That'll be Greenwich 3 Rivers. GMS B entry, dark shell. Those light blue chest plates coming through. Followed by GMS B. PVRC. Friends of Port. And Saugatuck. And there's going to be a conversation about the amount of boats sitting on the finish line as they were coming through. This will be Waylon Weston. Orange blades, white shell, orange blades, orange unis of Waylon Weston. Fouled across by Cambridge Boat Club. And that's expected to finish out the Women's Championship Varsity Quad second final.
Hey, that new little Merc's got no spark.
That's what you said.
I can't believe it.
We have the results of the first final, the top final. The Women's Championship Varsity Quad captured by Y Quad Cities, the visitors from Ohio. 5 minutes, 28 seconds flat. Fouled across by Saratoga Rowing at 5:35. Row America Rye, third at 5:41. Fourth was Cambridge. Fifth, Y Quad Cities B entry. Sixth, New Canaan. Seventh, Community Rowing. Eighth, Connecticut Boat Club. 9, Saratoga Rowing B entry. And 10, Row America Rye B.
Just making it back to the docks. I think that's what they're doing.
By the entrance of the parking or in the parking field? Near the water. Copy that. The very north dock.
Both docks, actually. Lee's dock and State Park dock.
Beyond State Park.
This is Pam. It is the dock closest to the bridge.
Thank you.
And there's also another issue on State Park, which is the dock closest to the bridge.
This is Tom. Go ahead, Tom. The last race to get down, boat with bone marker number 2, stroke had leg cramps. We got her directly over to the recovery dock, and there were EMTs there to take care of her.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Okay, on the water, men's championship varsity double, first final, 10 boats across.
Chris Disbrow, Dave, Chris.
Oak Neck Rowing Academy, lane 9, Saratoga, lane 8, GMS, lane 7, Cambridge Boat lane 6, Saugatuck, lane 5, New Canaan, lane 4, New Canaan B, lane 3, Y Quad Cities, lane 2, Oak Neck Rowing Academy B entry, lane 1, and Narragansett, lane 0. It's the men's championship varsity double, final number 1. Battle for first between Cambridge and Saratoga. Saratoga on the inside, white shell, blue unis, white Saratoga up the side. That'll be Saratoga followed by Cambridge, followed by GMS, their A entry. Oak Neck Rowing Academy next, dark shell. Saugatuck next. Battle between New Canaan and Narragansett. New Canaan, Narragansett, Y Quad Cities in the middle. And New Canaan B entry. We do have a final boat in this championship varsity double coming in. They will be giving way to the men's championship varsity double second final. Second of 3. Again, another 10 boat race. This will be Oak Neck Rowing Academy's B entry. And Oak Neck Rowing Academy B entry to the line. No time for first final. Three races to go for the morning session. Men's Championship Varsity Double, Final 2 and 3. 10 boats in each race. That'll be followed by the Boys Middle School Cock Squad. And then the regatta staffers and volunteers have an opportunity for that break. And then we'll return shortly after noon. In this championship second final, the men's varsity double, Litchfield Hills will be in lane 9, Wayland West in lane 8, New Canaan in lane 7, Oak Neck Rowing Academy lane 6, Cambridge B entry in 5, West Side in lane 4, Saratoga Rowing's B entry in lane 3, New Canaan's D entry in lane 2, Lane 1 will be West Cambridge. Lane 0 will be the GMS B entry. So again, thank you for tuning in to the NYS Rowing YouTube channel, bringing you high definition viewing of the finish line here from the shore of Fish Creek, 2019 Saratoga Invitational, Day 2. Day 1 cut short because of wind, both racing and broadcasting. Stanley Hootie, glad to be bringing you this. And thanks to the boss, Mr. Joe Boyle. Boiler Alert on Twitter for taking over the newspaper duties today so I could be here. Second championship varsity double men's in the chute. All in a sprint heading towards the finish line. Wayland Weston leading the way. Followed by Litchfield Hills. Wayland Westland, Richfield Hills. Battle for second between Cambridge and Westside. Cambridge closest to us, Westside outside of them. Cambridge Westside. Missing bow, Saratoga. White shell, chevron blades. This will be the West Cambridge Boat Club, lane 1. Next in will be the New Canaan C entry. New Canaan D entry, yellow shell. And Oak Neck Academy continuing to make their way down. So we do have results. The second women's quad final.
Yeah, there's like cases of Powerade or Snapple or we all.
Oak Neck Academy. And that is the men's second final through. Results of the second women's final in their varsity quad. That was GMS covering the course in 5 minutes 42 seconds. Greenwich was behind them at 6 minutes, followed by Three Rivers at 6:03. Fourth, GMS B entry. Fifth, Pelham. Sixth, PVRC. Seventh, Port. 8th, Saugatuck. 9th, Wayland Weston. And 10th, Cambridge B. And we'll get that posted to the NYS Rowing Twitter feed. We still have the third final in the men's championship varsity double coming up. We didn't have a finish time for the first final in the men's championship varsity double. So I believe they're going to have to go by splits to determine an order of finish. That may be all that's available. The second final came through. And the third final should be underway shortly. And that again will be a 10-boat race. Before that gives way to the boys' middle school Cox Quad, and then the lunch break. And then we'll be back on our YouTube channel, NYS Rowing, at noon. Ten boats across, closest to us. Men's Championship Varsity Double, final number 3. Lane 9, Port. Lane 8, Cambridge, their C entry. Lane 7, Saugatuck, their B entry. Lane 6, Boston Latin. Lane 5, Burnt Hills. Lane 4, Port, their B entry. Lane 3, the B entry of Litchfield Hills. Lane 2, Pelham. Lane 1, Y Quad Cities B entry. And Lane 0, the Burnt Hills B entry. Third final, men's varsity double. On the water. Litchfield Hills B entry, lane 3. On the far outside. Closest in, the Saugatuck B entry. Now it's going to be Saugatuck and Litchfield. Saugatuck, Litchfield with a battle closest to the camera between Port and Cambridge. Port, Cambridge, then Litchfield. Litchfield falls to 4. Y Quad Cities B entry. Far outside lane, dark shell, red unis. Holding on, Quad. Boston Latin. This is Burnt Hills rowing. Three boats remain in the race. Burnt Hills rowing, their B entry. Furthest from the camera. Burnt Hills rowing A next. Followed by Pelham. And that closes out the men's championship varsity double. That's the third final. Got word that we may have a restart on the last race of the morning session.
Lane 9 is cutting across the course right now.
The boys' middle school Cox Quad. That race is official. 540.3. Okay, the men's varsity double, the second final. Second final, we have results. Wayland Weston captured that in 5:42 flat, followed by Litchfield Hills at 5:45, and Cambridge B at 5:50. Fourth was Westside, fifth Saratoga B, sixth West Cambridge, seventh New Canaan C, eighth New Canaan D, ninth Oakneck, and GMS scratched. And that's the results for the second final. Last race of the morning. For planning purposes, the Women's Championship 8 scheduled to go off at 12:58 or 1 o'clock, so make sure you're back. It's viewing time. Men's Championship 4, 12:37. So 12:37 for the Men's Championship 4. Women's Championship 8, approximately 1 o'clock. Men's Lightweight 4 Championship at 1:19. Championship double at 3:20. Men's Championship quad at 3:40. Women's Freshman 8, 3:54. For your upcoming planning purposes. We plan on being here. We hope you are too. Boys Middle School Cox Quad, 7 boats in this race. Closest to the camera, Dallas United. Lane 8, Burnt Hills. Lane 7, Saratoga. Lane 6, Niskayuna. Lane 5, Saratoga's B entry. Lane 4, Dallas United's B entry. And Lane 3, Dallas United's C entry. Last race of the morning session. On the water, boys middle school Cox Quads. And they'll return at noontime for 4 more hours of racing. Almost 5 hours for the afternoon session of the Saratoga Invitational. 2019 full installment plan today. First, the abbreviated version yesterday due to wind. Wind will pick up a little bit to about 6 miles an hour, anticipated out of the west, which was behind the camera and behind the Best Buy tent here. And it came off Regatta View, which overlooks Fish Creek, and then decided to swirl. And wind was coming behind and then through and around, and it was not a lot of fun. A lot of hands on deck grabbing poles and me grabbing the center of the tent, despite 6 cinder blocks holding down the tarps that are attached to the tent, sandbags, and then a 50-pound bag on the table holding the center of the tent. The tent was physically moving around. It wasn't headed out to Fish Creek, but it was definitely going left and right.
They got bumped up to the varsity A final, which was really nice because they thought they missed out on an opportunity to on yesterday. And they ended up placing 5th overall in the varsity A. They're happy with that. They missed 4th place by .017.
Okay, we do have the men's championship double, 3rd final. Captured by Saugatuck's B entry at 540, Port at 542, Cambridge Boat Club C entry at 543. Litchfield Hills was 4th at 544, followed by Y Quad Cities B entry 5th, Boston Latin 6th, Port Rowing B 7th, Burnt Hills B entry 8th, Burnt Hills A entry was 9th, and the Pelham entry was 10th. And that was the men's championship varsity double 3rd final. And you guessed it, for complete results, follow at NYS Rowing on Twitter.
Yeah, we're out of data. We're trying to pour things. You can't watch like Netflix on your cell phone.
boys middle school Cox Quad. And we do have that championship double results in. Splits only. Cheers go up. Boys middle school Cox Quad. Dallas United. 3 boats. Burn Hills in lane 8. Saratoga lane 7, Niskayuna lane 6, Saratoga B in lane 5. Lanes 3, 4, and 9 are Dallas United. Leading the way, Saratoga's entry. White shell, blue unis, white stripe up the side with Saratoga. Cheers from the right here on Saratoga Rowing Association side. Saratoga's going to lead across Niskayuna. White shell, red tees, jackets for the Niskayuna rowers. Burnt Hills Rowing Association, white shell, maroon tanks. New York will sweep the Lone Star State as the top 4 boats across will be residing from Section 2 in New York State. As the Saratoga B entry comes across. Boathouse Pride here is Dallas United. The C entry has a boat length lead over the Dallas United B entry. So this will be Dallas United C, Dallas United B, trying to find the rhythm, the Dallas United A entry. There they are. They hit the line. Oh, a little too far. There they are. Safety boats, everybody's coming in for that break. So that completes the boys middle school Cox Quad event. We'll give you the long-awaited men's champ varsity double. First final, Saratoga captured that. Again, we only have splits. Right behind, 2 seconds later, Cambridge. GMS 3 seconds out. Oak Neck 4th C entry. Saugatuck 5th. New Canaan 6th. Narragansett 7th. Y Quad Cities 8th. New Canaan B entry 9th. And Oak Neck B entry 10th. And that was the men's first varsity double. The long-awaited
Kingling went up. Hurry up, I gotta use his back.
boats coming back in, launches coming back in. And last race of the morning, our cock squad. Boys Middle School cock squad. Saratoga takes that in 6 minutes, 19 seconds. Niskayuna follows second at 6:31. Burnt Hills Rowing third at 6:40. Fourth, Saratoga B entry. And then Dallas United C in fifth. Dallas United B in sixth. And Dallas United A in seventh. So results always posted on Twitter at NYS Rowing. This will end the morning session. We'll be back with another installment on our NYS Rowing YouTube channel. It'll say afternoon rowing for the invite, and we'll link that through the Saratogian and put that up on the Facebook page and pages for everyone to see and go from there. So for Stan Hootie, Saratogian Troy Record, Community News, helping out New York State Rowing and Saratoga Rowing Association. It's been a blast. We stayed warm, we stayed dry, and we held back the wind. So it's been a good morning for all. Stop back, see us at noon at NYS Rowing on YouTube for more HD finish line streaming, commentary, and results from the 2019 Saratoga Invitational Sunday morning edition. Thanks. Hootie out.